Uh, I just wanted to ask you, who you got a fight coming up on the undercard of Floyd and Cotto, right?
Yeah.
Who do you got fighting?
DeAndre Lattimore. He's fighting Carlos Quintana.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of working with Lattimore? What kind of fighter is he?
I mean, well, he's a guy that, he's in transition mode now because I'm trying to make him a complete fighter. He's a guy that, he's a banger, a real big puncher. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when guys are big punchers, they have a tendency to just, punch and not really look for anything back. And a lot of times they get caught standing there because they're waiting for a reaction from the punch that they just landed. Mm-hmm. And I got him now. I got him working on, throwing a lot more combinations and also, not getting caught up and just trying to land one big shot. So he's becoming more of a boxer. And so he's going to become a much more well-rounded fighter.
Mm-hmm. And is this your second or third fight working with him?
My second.
Yeah. How's he picking it up? Is he picking it up as fast as you'd like?
To be honest, even his first fight, he did an excellent job. He just happened to get caught. And that happens in boxing. He won the first 8 rounds. Clean as could be. But actually, the guy he was in there with was, he may not have been the greatest fighter, but at the same time, he was a guy that could punch because he was a guy that fought at 160 pounds. Mm-hmm. And even at 160 pounds, he had 21 knockouts out of 25 fights. Mm-hmm. So, so he's in there with a guy that can punch.
Yeah. And it happens sometimes. Emmanuel Stewart's first fight with Klitschko ended in not such a good way. Happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Are you concerned with his mental outlook going into this fight, or do you think he put it behind him?
No, I think the one thing is this, is that realistically, even in that fight, he got caught with a good shot. And he came back strong. And the second time it was a headbutt. The guy intentionally headbutted and actually knocked him down. And it was, Cortez missed it. Mm-hmm. But even on TV they showed it over and over again. But it's boxing and he's human, so that happens. Mm-hmm. But I think that definitely that's behind him, and he's looking forward to this opportunity because he knows that it'll put him in a position to hopefully even fight for a world title.
Yeah. What are you looking to see from him in this fight?
I think that our strategy is to stop Quintana and force him to fight us. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna BS around too much. I'm gonna stick DeAndre on him. Just go get him. Mm-hmm. Let's see if he still got anything left. Mm-hmm. But this do it in a smart, calculated way. Now, I'm not just saying go out there and bum rush the guy. No, not like that. But in a smart, calculated way. Moving our head while we're coming in, and that type of situation. But to be honest, he's ready for this fight, and I think that people are gonna see probably one of his best performances.
Yeah. And is he in the gym at the same time Little Floyd is?
No, he actually comes. We come in. We train at night because in the daytime it's too many people. Mm-hmm. This is a very, very important fight for him. So we kind of we come in right after Little Floyd is done. I don't really like training that late, but it's for the fighter. So if the fighter willing to make that sacrifice, so am I.
Yeah. And who else do you work with besides him?
Caballero.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think about the Mikey Garcia fight that might be made? How do you tell him to fight Garcia?
It's one of those situations. It's a fight in which, of course, I don't even care to see that fight. Mm-hmm. Not because, to be honest, I don't think that. Of course, Mickey Garcia has earned the right to fight Celestino, so of course he can't be denied. Mm-hmm. And that, with that being said, of course the fight has to happen. But to be honest, I don't really see him as a threat to Celestino at all. Mm-hmm. I think that it's a fight that if Celestino boxes him, Celestino will beat him and beat him very, very
Yeah.
I mean, because he's a one-dimensional guy who comes in, really don't have no good, really don't have good head movement or anything, you know, and he throws strong punches. But, you know, there's business guys that can punch, so we're not worried about that.
Yeah. Do you stay in touch with him when there's no fight happening?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we keep in touch more on Facebook when it's that. But I mean, he would always call me from time to time as well. But he's actually in Vegas now. He's in Vegas, and we're doing we're doing some minor training, and we're hoping that I guess the fight goes to Perth pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we'll know where, we'll know the date and everything. So once that's in effect, then we'll actually start, camp, getting ready for that fight.
And are you in the gym when Floyd is training?
Yeah, I'm there sometimes. I'm not there all the time because as of right now, I mean, I'm training a lot of I'm training MMA guys as well. You know, and so I'm training big countries right now. So actually, when a lot of times when Floyd actually comes to train, I have to leave. I have to leave to go train in big country. So I gotta make that sacrifice, you know, because it's just for my benefit. And so I get a chance to see him. Like today was a day I got a chance to stay around and watch him train.
Yeah, what was the atmosphere
when I have
like?
a chance,
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, when I have a chance, I do stay and watch.
And what was the atmosphere like today? What'd you see?
To be honest, it was kind of calm today, as opposed to how it normally is. You know, I mean, because it's almost like probably, I would say at least almost 100 people in there, you know, a day when he's training. You know, and of course, I mean, you have people from all over the world. I mean, they just happen to be in town, and I know that it's even going to get bigger toward the end of the week because of the fact that, you know, I mean, the people that are actually coming to the fight are going to be here soon. And so, of course, everybody wants to be in, you know, to come in and see him. And, you know, and I mean, it's a situation which, of course, I mean, you have to be invited by someone, or you have to know someone to be able to get in.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, with all those people, it's easy to know someone. You know?
Okay. Yeah, that's what happened. It's so funny you just said that because that's what happened. Everyone on Facebook contacts me when they want to come. When they want to come to the gym.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a real guy that I can't really say no to no one. So, you know, the only thing I can do is tell them that if I'm not accessible because I have to leave, chances are you won't be able to stay because they won't let you stay if I'm not there too. You know, but on days that I can stay, it's not a problem.
Yeah. What's Floyd looking like to you now? Is he looking totally ready for this fight?
Yeah. I mean, Floyd's looking awesome. I mean, you know, and the one thing I think that he did, and he did it on purpose, he's got a lot of young guys, and he got a lot of young guys. He got some experienced guys, but all the young guys that he got are undefeated. They're young, undefeated guys, and they're much bigger than him. And so, and you know, when you have young guys, they're always out to try to prove something. And so it's one of those situations in which, you know, he's taming the young guys and, you know, and basically, you know, and schooling the older guys. I mean, he's looking awesome. I mean, and what amazes me is that all these guys are physically bigger than him, but he walks every one of them down.
Yeah. And do you see any signs of slippage, or do you think he's better than ever?
No, I don't see no signs of slippage. Only thing that I see is Floyd has taken, you know, his style of fighting to a different level, and I think that now he's something that he could have been doing a long time ago in his career. But when you're young, you're flashy, and when you're flashy, you want to show every little thing that you got. You know, and so that's when people thought that Floyd couldn't punch, that people thought that Floyd wasn't strong. All those things that people thought was never true. Floyd just chose to fight that way. You know, and now, you know, I mean, all these guys, I mean, Floyd is basically he's walking these guys down. get him right in their face because they can't hit him.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when the punches start coming back, they're much bigger than him, but they're backpedaling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's physically stronger than I've ever saw.
Mm.
So, I mean, to be honest, you know, if he performed like he's been doing in these workouts, you know, it might be a short night.
Yeah. Now, do you talk to him about technique at all? Or I never see you talking to Floyd really on TV, but do you ever discuss techniques with him?
Well, I mean, we talk quite a bit, but I mean, you know, I'm kind of like a person that I don't really necessarily care so much for cameras in my face and stuff like that. But also, it's a situation in which I'm kind of like this. This isn't for me. You have some people that, you know, they can't shy away when they see a camera. They want to do anything they can to try to be on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the complete opposite. I mean, if it's not for me, you're not going to see me there. You're not going to see me trying to run in the background, trying to be seen, because that's just not my character. So basically, you know, that's why, you know, and people always ask me, why are you ever on 24/7?
Mm.
I'm not on 24/7 because I'm not in these people's face trying to be seen. I'm in the background. I'm just like a fly on the wall. You know, this isn't for me. This is for Floyd.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I mean, of course, I mean, people say, well, it's your family, but still, it's for him. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's how I look at it. And plus, like I said, half the time, I got work to do. I got other people to train. I mean, Floyd's my nephew. I love him. Mm-hmm. I watch him and support him as much as I can, but at the same time, I mean, he don't pay my bills. I gotta eat. I gotta go work with people that pay me.
It's true. It's true. It makes too much sense. But yeah. You are the quiet mama's boy type. What do you make of all the beefs and the fighting going on? That's what you're known as. You're known as the mama's boy.
That's funny. Mama's boy. That's funny.
Yeah. You're the quiet Mayweather.
Yesterday. Yeah, I guess you know what, to be honest, I'm not really the quiet Mayweather, but I'm just not as flamboyant. I'm not as outspoken. And even when I am outspoken,
mm-hmm.
you know, I'm kind of like Obama. I think before I say something. I'm not let anything come out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's one of those situations where, you know, of course, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say something, you know, that can be misconstrued or put, you know, a writer or anyone can put a big negative spin on. Because I think before I say anything, because, you know, there's certain things that, you know, just to me that's inappropriate to put out there.
Mm-hmm. What were you thinking when Little Floyd and Big Floyd had the big fight on the last 24/7? What were you thinking?
Well,
you don't like that kind of stuff,
I mean, no, definitely not. I mean, I think if I was there, I would have been able to, you know, I probably couldn't have diffused it, but, I mean, I probably would have been able to diffuse it, you know, and of course, all the things that would have said and stuff like that may have still been said, but I think that the only person that could really diffuse it it had to be a family member.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be the bodyguards.
Yeah.
Because the bodyguards work for Floyd. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they're not going to grab his dad. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, that's still his son.
Yeah. So
that's how they dealt with it. They dealt with it like, okay, this is a father and son thing. No matter if Floyd's our boss or not, we can't go grab his dad. Because at the end of the day, that's still his dad. Mm-hmm. You know, it would take for somebody in the family to be able to step in there and say, look, this needs to end. Yeah. You know, and basically it did. I mean, Roger was the only one that could step in.
Yeah, exactly. My next question to you was, do you ever have to play mediator? I guess you do.
Yeah, I've played mediator, you know, quite a few times. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's a role that, I take with dignity because, you know, I'm strong on family, you know, and I love all my family, and I don't really like to see no one fight or see any negativity, especially in when it's on TV. But at the same time, these type of things happen in all families. It's just that, you know, there's a microscope on Floyd. Anything he does, it becomes news.
That's true. Yeah. What's it do to your mother to see this?
Well, I mean, basically, you know, and of course, I mean, it tears your mother up inside, you know, but at the same time, I'm sure that, you know, this last 24/7, I mean, made her feel good again.
Yeah.
And of course, it's one of those situations in which it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, you know, between Floyd Jr. and his dad. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, there's no mistaking that the fact that they love one another. Yeah. You know, and it's one of those situations. Sometimes you can have a love-hate relationship even with your parent. You know, and so I think that that's kind of it. It's one of those situations also that, you know, Littlefoot never really had a choice about boxing, but that's not really the real issue. I think the real issue is, you know, Littlefoot touched on it a little bit, is the fact that, you know, Big Floyd, you know, they didn't really sit down and have a father and son relationship. It was more like trainer and fighter relationship. Yeah. You know, and I mean, it's kind of like sometimes that happens because, you know, I mean, he gave his son his blood, sweat, and tears, and of course his son's where he's at solely because of him. But, you know, at the same time, when you're caught up in that, and when you're caught up in that phase of creating this machine, because that's basically what you turn your child into. You turn them into a machine. And when you're in the process of doing this, you forget the little things, you forget the simple things, you forget to sit down and talk about life. You forget to, like, let's go out, you know, have dinner and just talk about girls, or let's talk about, you know, you growing up, let's talk about school, let's talk about things like that. All that was missing. And with all that being missing, you know, that's where it gets to a point where, you know, the relationships start to have some, you know, it has some tension. And I mean, that happens. It happens, especially when, you know, it's a situation in which I think Big Floyd has finally accepted the fact that his son has moved on and has really accepted Roger as his trainer, and that he has to let him go, and he no longer needs to, you know, no longer needs to try to sell himself as the guy that made Floyd who he is, because the whole world already know that. And that's what he was, and I think that was the problem, because he was trying so hard to still fit in the puzzle when really the puzzle is already there. There's no more places to put the piece to the puzzle to complete it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep, I do. Yeah.
And so basically, you know, so it's almost like you allow yourself to be a part of that situation, but you don't really know how to embrace it in the right way. Because at the end of the day, in your heart and in your mind and in your soul, the only thing that you think about is that it's me. He's my creation. I made him this. I made him into what he is. When the reality of it is this: you may have, but at the same time, look at your brother. That's your brother over there. You know? I mean, your brother has to have done something. He trained your son for 13 years. And your son is still the best fighter in the world. So, if he was able to carry the torch for 13 years without you, Roger's done a great job. And that's what it's about. At the end of the day, you have to give him credit too. You can't just always, you know, step in the picture and, you know, want the light to shine on you. And that's basically, you know, unfortunately, and that's what happened. It got to the point where it just, you know, I mean, the situation where, you know, it got out of control, because I think before just got tired of hearing, you know, his dad say that. Even though he know that in his heart, we all know that. Even the whole world know that. But you don't have to still preach it, because you're not training your son anymore. You know, and I think that finally he's allowed his son to, you know, go on without, because I heard Floyd say one thing, for the senior, and I never thought I would hear this come from him. I mean, of course, he has a little dislike for Freddie Roach, but at the same time, he said something that I would never think I would hear him say. And he basically said that I don't understand why Freddie Roach is getting all this accolades and all this, all this press and being trainer of the year, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
When Roger has been training Floyd for all these years, and Floyd still hasn't lost, and Floyd is still the best fighter in the world.
Mm.
Why isn't Roger getting anything?
Wow.
And that was like the proudest thing for me to hear him say that.
Yeah.
For that to come out of his mouth, I mean, it was like, to me, and I ain't really got nothing to do with the situation, but it's just the fact that that's when I knew that he finally realized where he's at in that situation.
Hmm.
He's accepted his role as a person that can still, come around and help your son, but you're not the head trainer.
Hmm.
No matter how much you may want to want to be the head trainer, feel like you want to be the head trainer, you're not.
Yeah.
And I think now he's accepted that role, and of course, if little Floyd, wants his dad there, his dad will be there. And I think that he made it clear, even on 24/7, that if I'm really going to dog fight, my dad's going to be with me, because I know what my dad's about.
Mm. Yeah.
So I mean, so the love is there. It's just it's one of those situations where that one area is so touchy that I mean, it was basically a point where before just had to kind of like I like to say, when things get too big for me, for me to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
I release them, and I say to myself, I'm going to try to let God handle this one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, at the end of the day, things will be fine.
Yeah.
And that's basically the situation. Big Floyd had got to that point where he had to let, release it, and everything will come back, at least in a peaceful and civil way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's where they're at. I mean, of course, I mean, it's still a healing process. It's gonna take some time, but I mean, they've taken the first step.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you express that to Big Floyd, that you were surprised to hear him say that?
Not me, because Big Floyd is one of those people that he don't take things well. I mean, don't be wrong. You have some people that think everything they say is right.
Yeah.
And they want you to side with them. But I'm the type of person that, realistically, if I'm not really on your side,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say that I'm not on your side. I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to hear your side, and keep my opinion to myself.
That's it. Yeah. I guess what they said about you is right. You are the calm Mayweather.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't hear this from Mayweathers. Yeah. It makes too much sense, though. You're right. What keeps Little Floyd at the top of his game after 16 years? What do you
Well, it's funny that I think what it is that keeps him at the top of his game more than anything is he knows how many people hate on him and want to see him fail.
Mm.
That's what keeps him working hard as he do. That's what keeps him as focused. Because he just knows. He knows that the whole world, I ain't gonna say the whole world, but there's a whole lot of people out there waiting on that day. Kind of like, in Muhammad Ali's career, when that lady followed him forever until he finally lost.
Mm.
And she told him, I'm glad he finally got your black ass.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of that situation. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that probably can't wait to do that to Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
But he's aware of that fact. And it's just instilled in him since he was a kid. He never knew nothing but hard work. And he's never stopped. You know, and now he's using that fuel of all, you know, with the people that hate on him so much, he's using that fuel, you know, to keep his fire lit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was talking to Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, and he was talking about how unfair it is, too, for Freddie Roach to keep winning Trainer of the Year, and no one looks at Roger, too. So what do you think? Why does Freddie Roach keep winning Trainer of the Year and never goes to your brother?
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations in which, you know, I mean, it goes back to what I was just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you have a personality like Floyd, you know, you have, you know, your whole persona is kind of too flamboyant to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, you're making money, you're young, you're making money, you happen to be African American, and it's in your face. This is me. But don't get me wrong, Floyd does go a little overboard on 24/7, and he does that to sell tickets.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, at least you can look Floyd in the face, and he's giving you the truth. He's giving you the real him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like some of boxing's so-called icons who were the same people that your children were supposed to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are, you know, the skeletons are starting to fall out the closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so would you rather have a guy that at least he is what he is in your face, or a guy who plays you until his career is over, and now everything that you thought he was, he never was.
Mm. I guess I'll go with the in your face. Don't keep secrets, I guess, right?
Well, I mean,
yourself.
you know, I'm just saying that, you know, I mean, it's kind of in a sense keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I can respect a person that, I'd rather have a person that if they don't like me, to let me know in my face.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I don't have to like you, or I don't even have to play like I like you. We don't even have to speak, we don't have to do nothing. But don't be in my face acting like you like me. The second you walk out of the room, you hate me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so I don't know how to deal with you. And then down the road, they hate me over time.
Mm.
But because your image was that you're such a gracious and humble person that you had to keep that facade up for as long as you could.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, would you ever train someone to fight Floyd?
Would I do what now?
Would you train somebody to be fighting Floyd, Little Floyd? Would you ever?
No, I don't think I would ever do that.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, millions of dollars would be hard to turn down. But he's my nephew and I love him. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those things that you can't never really live down.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way. I'll say, to be honest, this was probably what I would do. I would probably go actually with Floyd before I even took that assignment. I won't say that I wouldn't, because at the same time, I still got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I still got to live. I still got to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's $1 million on the table, hey, Floyd, I got to get this money, man.
Yeah. How do you think
You know
you feel
what I
about
mean?
that? Would he be mad at you?
I mean, because I'm not. No, I don't think he'd be mad at me because, Floyd don't think nobody out there can beat him.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'd be mad. I think he'd look at me as, a person that had to make a business decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't gonna say or dislike me or anything. I mean, the only thing it'd be a great build-up for the press, you know. And I mean, it's a situation in which, in all honesty, it'd be hard for me, even if I'm paying a person that's in first weight class, for me to really, in my mind, to digest the fact that them beating him. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that because he's my nephew. I'm just saying that because I think that he's just that good.
Oh yeah. Would you say he's in the top 5 of all time?
I mean, I think that, you know, of course, I mean, it's one of those situations that Floyd's not going to be judged until 10 years after he's retired. I mean, because to be honest, Floyd could be the best fighter ever.
Yeah.
He could actually be that. But it's one of those situations. And I always tell every person when they ask me this question, Michael Jordan will always be the face of the NBA. Muhammad Ali will always be the face of boxing.
Yep.
Now, golf, you got Tiger Woods was able to slip in because he was African American, or he was at a different race. So you could tie Tiger Woods to golf, or Jack Nicholson, or someone like that. And then even with tennis, you're going to use Arthur Ashe along with the other great tennis players. But what I'm saying is this: once a person becomes the focal point, the standard of that sport, no one can surpass them, no matter what. Kobe Bryant got 5 rings. If Kobe Bryant got 8 rings, he's not going to become the face of the NBA.
Nope.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
You know, and so basically, that's a no-win situation. It's just like, to me, and I mean, people can say how great they thought Ray Robinson was, and maybe it's just because that was the first time when they started talking pound for pound or whatever the case may be. But I'm being honest, when I seen tapes and stuff on Ray Robinson, I didn't see nothing that was so special. I didn't see anything that where I was like, wow, I'm so, cause I mean, the things that he's done, what I've seen, the same thing Further already done, what Jones has done. I mean, even fighters that not even on that level have done. But, I mean, of course, it's one of those situations, too, where you start to talk about stats. Okay, he won X number of fights, you know, before he had a loss. But at the end of the day, for a guy to become 6-time middleweight champion, he had to lose 5 times. So, you know, I mean, and then you get into, well, he stayed too long. He stayed too long, but so is it wrong for a guy to retire undefeated? Or should he stay and continue to get losses? And then what you do is just judge all the good years and you just discount all the bad years? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like Roy Jones. Roy Jones was phenomenal until he got caught. Once he got caught, I mean, his skid didn't stop. I mean, once he went downhill, it was like a snowball. You know, I mean, it was a shame because he was a phenomenal fighter, a gifted fighter, tremendous hand speed, tremendous power, and it seemed like one night it was over with.
It was so dramatic.
You know? Yeah, it was, and that's what it was. I mean, it was almost like a person, after you see a person getting shot with a gun, and you see that effect, that the life just goes. And that's basically what his career. I mean, he was a guy who was brilliant, master at what he done. I mean, he was so gifted and got away with things that other fighters couldn't, and other fighters dreamed they could do. But once they got him, he was done. I mean, Gunzz can never return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, but when you, see, Roy Jones, people are not gonna, they're not gonna judge him as Roy Jones Jr. They're gonna judge him all the fights that he took, even after Roy Jones was done. They count those too.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
They count those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the same guy that at one point in time, people thought he was probably going to be the greatest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, once he got caught, it was over.
Yep. You break
over
it down.
and never to return. Never, I mean, it's one of those, and that's the one thing. That's one thing that with some fighters have resiliency and can bounce back.
Mm.
I mean, look at Marquez. Marquez is one. Even my brother Roger. I mean, he had brutal knockouts.
Mm.
You know, in his fight, he still was able to bounce back and win a world title.
Mm.
And then you have those certain fighters like a Fernando Vargas, David Reed.
Yep.
You know, both of them got run by Trinidad. But you have those fighters that have their only, you kind of call them front runners. They're the type of guys, as long as they beat you, they're fine.
Mm.
But once you beat them, it's over with. It's like they don't even know how to win no more.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You said it. You broke it down. Yeah.
No, I mean, but it's true. It's true. Because, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's just like, you have certain fighters, like I said, that, I mean, can bounce back and, you know, have that resiliency, and their career is not over. They can have a traumatic loss, and their career is not over.
Mm.
But Roy, after that one loss, we see, you know, the Markel Griffin, no, because he got disqualified. You know, you don't count that. But when he actually tasted the leather and went down, when he went down, his career was over.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatness was gone. All the potential to be this, to be that, was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Most dramatic fall from grace I ever saw. Happened.
Yeah, it was.
In the blink of an eye.
It was, and he never to return.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. That was a weird one. It was just weird late career. Yeah. And well, if you did get to train a guy to fight Little Floyd, what would you tell him to do? Like, how do you solve this riddle?
I mean, in all honesty, it's very, very tough. But I think the only option that I could really even try to do a fighter is to try to pressure Floyd as much as you can, and, you know, try to, you know, give them solid defense where their hands are, you know, kind of like more like a winky right type, where you ain't gonna really get caught clean or anything, you know, and impress them as much as you possibly can, and try to, you know, that's gonna really be your only option. I mean, you can't, you're not gonna outbox him, you're not gonna outthink him. You're too smart for that. You're the smartest fighter in the world when it comes to that. That's why most of the time, by the time the third round, the fight is really over. Most people don't know it. But he's already figured you out. And he figures you out where you don't even know you've been figured out. Despite, you know what I'm saying? Because you're fighting this fight, even though you have your own game plan, you think that you're still doing your game plan, but you don't even know that you're fighting his fight now. Now he's the boss, and you're actually doing what he wants you to do. Because Floyd can beat you going forward, or Floyd can beat you going backwards, and you don't even know it. You don't even realize it. Only thing you know is that I'm still fighting my fight, but on the scorecards, you're not. You're fighting his fight.
Yeah. And what kind of chance do you give Miguel Cotto?
Well, I mean, I think that Miguel Cotto is going to come hard with all he has. I mean, he's just coming off, you know, a redemption win. You know, and that gives him, you know, of course, that gives him a great deal of confidence and belief in himself. But Miguel Cotto never fought nobody like Floyd, not even close. you know, and it's a situation which I think that Miguel Cole's been a counterpuncher practically his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he can't become something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you, because I mean, I'm watching 24/7, and he's doing, like I said, what needs to be done by trying to stay on top of Floyd. But at the same time, when it comes to foot movement, Floyd's way faster on his feet than Miguel Cotto. Floyd had way better defense than Miguel Cotto. His hands are faster than Miguel Cotto. The only thing that only advantage that Miguel Cotto has is that he's physically bigger than Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, size don't win fights. Skills does.
Yep, you're right.
And so I think that, you know, and I think that after seeing, you know, for the way he's handling these guys in the gym, of course, they're not Miguel Cotto, but they're much bigger. They're much bigger, they're younger, and when I don't necessarily say that they're hungrier, but both guys, you have a group of guys where they're, you know, they're young and they're undefeated because they got tremendous belief in themselves. Floyd he has Omar Henry undefeated. He has Jerry Young, he's undefeated. He has African kid from I don't even know his name, but very good fighter too. I think he just finally got one loss, but I mean he got like almost all knockout.
Wow.
You know, and so I mean these guys, they come in hard because once they get in there, they want to be the ones who say, I done something to him. You know? Kind of like when, you know, the one time when Mike Tyson got dropped, the whole world knew about it. And that's the same thing, like when these guys get in there with Floyd, I mean, who don't want to be able to say, I got him? Even if it was just that day, I got him. You know? And so, I mean, it's one of those situations in which, you know, when they go in there, I mean, they go hard. They go hard until, like I said, they're fighting this fight and they don't even know it. You know, because, I mean, they come hard. They find themselves coming hard. And the harder they come, they start getting hit more and more and more. And they're starting to miss more and more. But yet, they're still fighting their fight. But they don't understand that you're no longer fighting your fight. You're fighting his fight.
That's it.
Look at the scorecard.
Yeah. How come the Manny fight? How come you think Floyd is so tentative about fighting Manny? Or do you think it's the other way around?
Well, it's not tentative at all. I mean, it's a situation in which, you know, I mean, I don't know if I would say, because my personality is a little different from Floyd's, but at the same time, I don't know. I probably would take a stand in the sense that, you know, I'll outdo you in pay-per-view numbers. And not only that, I am undefeated. You know, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's not the selling point that I'm undefeated. But I do bigger numbers than you. That means I get a bigger piece of the pie than you. You know, and so plus the luster of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, I mean, with each fight, it's starting to look like the fight should never happen anyway. If it was going to happen, it should have happened a long time ago. Because if Manny has another bad performance, who really want to see the fight?
True.
You know what I mean? Nobody really cares to see the fight then because, I mean, even Manny Pacquiao fans right now are starting to jump on for his side. They won't do it. They won't do it in public, but they sure do it. They sure do it on Facebook and send me messages.
I see
you know what I mean?
I see it.
And so, I mean, it happens. I mean, you know, all these people that were like, you know, because, I mean, at one point in time, it was almost like it was taboo to say something bad about Manny. You know, and I mean, even one time I had this lady that I could not believe her. She was a school teacher, some lady from the Philippines. And I don't know if it was in a blog or it was in, no, it was in, I used to do this site. I used to do like Ask Mayweather. And then I had said something about Manny. Now I didn't say nothing derogatory about him. I said, man, he 62 at the minute, but he has no defense. I said he's just he's like he's like a cannonball, and he's explosive. But at the same time, I mean, his punches are everywhere. There's nothing, technical about it. Oh my God! It was like, I mean, these people, if they could get to me, they got to kill me.
Yeah.
And the lady tells me, man, you're chosen by God. I said, really? I said, don't you think all of us God's children? I said, what kind of damn school teacher are you? That ain't no better than them students that you got there. Yeah. The God didn't choose him. And then she said, oh, after I broke her down, she felt like a fool. To even say something like that. I said, man, ain't no better than you. Yeah.
But you got to remember, you don't know who you're talking to when it's on the computer. You might be talking to a child. Who knows?
I mean, I don't know, because I don't think a child would have that type of dialect. I mean, if you're going back and forth with me, talking like that. She said she was a school teacher. And I mean, but I mean, no matter what, even if whoever it was, at the end of the day, they agreed with me. Yeah. They said, yeah, well, I'm sorry, sir. You're right. And I mean, it wasn't about me even trying to be right. It's just about me letting her know that, man, she ain't the chosen one. Nobody did. Man, God didn't come down and say, oh, I'll pick Manny Pacquiao. No, that didn't happen. Ain't no way. I mean, so I mean, but now, secretly, I get Manny fans sending me messages, oh, Floyd's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
But these same people who was like, oh, Floyd don't have a chance, Floyd's a chicken, this, that. Okay. Floyd never been scared. Floyd never been scared of Manny at all. But I mean, it's a situation where, like I said, at the end of the day, boxing is still a business. And if you're the biggest draw, you should get the biggest money. I mean, and Floyd's offering him more money you ever seen. He giving you $40 million. You never seen $40 million. So, I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was a time where, the ball was rolling in Manny's favor. When Manny, when he beat Cotto, he beat Margarito, he beat Claudia, but the demise started with the Claudia fight. And since the Claudia fight, everything's been going downhill.
Yeah.
And with that, I mean, even the Manny fans, they see it too.
Yeah.
And even before the fight with Marquez happened, I talked to the reporter, and I said, I think that Marquez is going to win, but he's not going to get the decision.
Wow.
I said, because there's too much money on the table. No one cares to see Floyd and Marquez.
Yeah.
I mean, that already happened. And it was a one-sided affair. It was like a man against a boy. And so it's one of those situations where, I mean, as long as there's a potential for this fight to happen, it's going to happen. That's why I feel bad. I do. I feel a little bad for Ken Bradley. Ken Bradley has no punch of power. No punch of power. I can't see him winning.
Yeah. There was a time when after Manny fought De La Hoya, or Ricky Hatton too, like during that period, I thought maybe that's the style that could bother Floyd a little, like maybe get him on the rope and flurry and jump to the side and come back in and jump away again. I think that was the style, but it's ironic and strange, but as soon as Lil Floyd brought up steroids, it's like he stopped having such devastating performances. Ricky Hatton was really the last time he devastated anybody. What do you think maybe steroids was an issue? What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, Off the record, yeah, but I don't want you to print that.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Because my thing is this. You know, I'm going to ask you a question, and you give me an answer. Can you imagine Manny Pacquiao whooping Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns? And he's the same guy that came from Michael Carvalho's way?
I know, that's what
do you think Michael Carvalho can whoop Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns?
No. I know he turned pro at 106. Last night.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I rest my case.
Yeah. Just last night I was talking about that, and somebody brought it to my attention that they took a chart of the age and the weight that Floyd and Manny both were at the same time in their life. Like at 17, it seemed like they always weighed about the same. I don't know if, I guess age and weight comparison, they pretty much stayed along the same line as years went by. But I know what you mean.
I mean, the one thing is this. I mean, even in the Marquez fight, even before it happened, once I seen Marquez with that guy, I said, whoa. A guy that drink his own piss?
Yeah.
Just take anything. This guy ain't got to tell him. That's what I said. This guy ain't got to tell him. If you have to be pissed, then drink anything.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is this. This guy may have been better than Aretha. That's coming up with these concoctions. That's probably what happened at the end of the day. Because you see how Marquez was. I mean, this dude jumped up to 147 pounds and was rich.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? and then, I mean, he gripped and then he was strong. He was backing Manny up. And, wow. Yeah. I'm like, this dude got better juice.
you might have to sweeten it up a little, but you got to think about it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things also that maybe I'm still off the record now.
Okay.
Maybe it's one of those things where Manny wanted to test himself, probably off the stuff, so he can see us. Because I mean, believe me, just like Shane Mosley, you see what happened once he off that shit. Once he off that shit, he got 30 seconds of gas. I mean, because if you would have hurt for like that with that stuff in him, what would have been done? But this man go all night with that stuff in him.
I know it.
But once he got exposed, now he's a real Shane. Nobody even knows if he was ever strong. Just like, everything you really accomplished, it might not even be real. I mean, because you cheated for so long.
And
that's one of those things that you put a asterisk on all of his confidence. Think they remind you, man. I mean, and that's like I said, and that's when I get back to, eventually at some point in time, maybe the stuff will actually come out. You know what I mean? Shane got busted. He couldn't do nothing. He was so stupid. He know he taking the stuff, and he gonna talk about, I'm gonna sue the guy. How the hell you gonna sue somebody you know you did wrong? And the man got the paperwork. You got the stuff. You up in court like a complete fool.
That's right.
You gotta answer everything. You gotta answer everything true. So I mean, like I said, you have these good guys with these great images. Just like Manny. I mean, now all of a sudden, he was hiring a fugitive. Tax evasion. Not Manny Pacquiao. Not the chosen one.
Yeah. The chosen one.
God, the chosen one don't get away with not fish tax. Government don't even talk about that. Well, you might not pay God, but you have to pay the IRS. I tell you that. They gonna find you. Yeah, you can be chosen where you want to. You better choose to pay them. You know, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, see, I want to put stuff out there. That's why I'm not really saying names. I'm gonna tell you who I'm talking about. You already know who I'm talking about, but don't put it on press. You know, because I'm one of those guys who I'm not trying to offend anyone. Plus, the person that read it already know what I'm talking about. And of course, you know the man with the fishnet pantyhose. And also Ray Leonard. You know, I mean, these are the two matinee idols for boxing.
Yeah.
Play the game to the hill. Play it the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Once their career was over with, the whole world know now.
Yeah.
Drug addicts, faggots, whatever. You know, now everything is out there. But it's out there when it don't count. I could even go overboard with this shit because he's telling so fucking many fucking lies. Now it's ridiculous. I've been a drunk for 30 years. Get the fuck out of here. You couldn't even hold it together if you was a drunk for 30 years. You couldn't even be that phony if you was drunk for 30 years.
Yeah.
No, I'm just keeping it real because how could you get up in front of people and be so phony? You can't. You can't. There's no way. You can even pull that off if you're drunk.
That's right. You'll tell someone something.
But I mean, he's one of those guys. I think what it is that he wanted to write a book, and he really want to make this shit a bestseller. By putting complete bullshit in it, because you ain't been no damn drunk since you were 3 years old. I've been a drunk. My dad used to tell me to go get the drink, and I would drink. Get the fuck out of here. Please.
I know.
You know, I mean that's horseshit.
Yeah.
I mean, but here it is. But at the time, you know, I mean, well, I won the gold medal for my mom, and I love America. Yes.
You got it.
And they have fucking 3 or 4 rape cases that never went to, that never made it to the press. But I know about it because I'm in a box and know. You know, there was none of this shit that artists, there's a whole bunch of other things that happened that people don't know. But now you got caught with your motherfucking pantyhose on. Now you want to go to their confession booth, and now you're going overboard with bullshit. I was just drunk since I was 3. Motherfucker, you was drunk, I would whoop your ass, I tell you that. That's past me, motherfucker, you were no drunk. I ain't never seen a fucking drunk. I never seen a fucking person drunk that can even fucking win a fight. Let's go into the yellow.
Yeah. Look what happened to Tony Pepper.
I guess he's trying to put an S on his chest in a clever way. You know? Like, yes, I was able to accomplish all these things, become fucking damn near a billionaire. And I was drunk the whole time. Fuck out of here. Please.
You said it, and you got him. I'll tell you. You're just saying it like I thought it.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that, it's kind of like Freud when Freud said the German instinct. Everything Freud says comes from yours. And all Freud did was the same thing that Isaiah Thomas said a long time ago. But Isaiah Thomas was considered a good guy in the game. And actually, he was involved in basketball. That's his career. So his career was at stake. So he had to suck it up and apologize. So he don't have to. So he don't play basketball. He'll make his living playing basketball. So you say the fuck you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's true, whether it's not, it's just an opinion anyway. If you feel that way, you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because right after that, everybody come hit me on my damn page. Oh, this white boy Floyd says, oh. And then this other damn, the older black writer, he gonna call me. Oh my God, Floyd said our generation back 100 years.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, let me tell you something. I said, Floyd said, no fucking body back. I said, that's your old ass way of thinking. I said, because you was born that time. I said, you was born in goddamn slavery time. I said, that's probably why you thinking that shit, because you 80 years old. I said, this man can say what he want to say.
Yeah.
I said, he didn't represent you. He represented himself. He don't represent me.
Yeah.
I said, because, to be honest, I said, me, myself, I thought that Jeremy Lin was phenomenal. Even if it lasted only for a little bit, it still was phenomenal because he's a kid from Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids from Harvard even fucking play basketball, let alone, score 28 points from one of the best players in the game to ever pick the ball?
Yeah.
So, of course, what he did was phenomenal. Even like I said, even if it just lasted for a short time, but that's my opinion. My opinion, he was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And, that means, like, okay, if I'm Floyd, and I say that, so now everybody's on Jeremy Lin's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Floyd one person.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd represents himself. Floyd don't represent you. Floyd don't represent black people. Floyd represents Floyd.
Yeah.
I told this fool, I said, dude, I said, he was, he's an old guy. I'm trying to respect him, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
He forced me not to. Because, I'm like, dude, nobody, Floyd ain't accountable for you. Floyd don't pay your bills.
Yeah.
You gotta get food to attach yourself to anything that Floyd do.
Yeah.
When Floyd go out there, after this fight over with, you still gonna spend all that time in jail with Floyd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He gonna spend that time in jail by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you representing us?
Yeah.
Stupid.
That is stupid. He acts like he's in the Joe Louis days where you can't smile if you knock a white man out.
And that's what I said. I hated to go at him hard like that, but I had to tell him, I had to put him in his place. I'm like, dude, you probably feel that way because you're 80 years old.
Yeah. Not his fault.
You might have seen somebody getting whipped or something. I don't know. I don't know how far I go back, but but I know you see some stuff.
Yeah.
That I do know.
Yeah. I don't know. He's in a time warp.
Yeah. That's like you said, like, okay, and it's funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like, because I seen this on it's kind of like I seen it on YouTube, which is kind of funny, kind of like stereotype,
Yeah.
and basically, okay, like back in the day, how it was in back in the day, you have like maybe white people coming one direction and black people coming the other direction, and they going facing one another. Back during civil rights time, black person has to get up and walk across the street and get out the way of the white person. I'm not racist or anything like that. I'm just talking about this because it's kind of funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show now in 2012, black person walking down the street. 3 white people. They all walk across the street.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
That's right.
I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious the way they did it, because the way they did it, they showed it where they went back in the olden days, back like in civil rights times, how the blacks had to keep their head at the ground. They can't even look up, and and then they showed when they had to walk across the street, let the white people walk past, and then they had one black guy with his damn pants sagging, 3 white people, and they walked across the street. I was like, yes. Nah, that's repetition.
That's it. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny stuff. Yeah. So let's see. Let's get this in order again. So, what is your proudest moments as a trainer of your own fighters? You won a championship with Sultan of Bragamov, right?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, that was my. I mean, that was. I wouldn't necessarily say that was kind of my proudest moment, but I think that me just taking a chance to even because like of course I mean I was toiling in obscurity because like I said I'm not flashy, I'm not flamboyant, I'm not talkative. I am once you talk to me, but I'm not if you don't know me. So that's why I'm the quiet Mayweather, because if you're not talking to me, you never see me, you never hear me say nothing. But if you talk to me like I'm talking to you, now you see a whole other side of me, right?
Yeah. Much cooler. Much cooler.
You're probably gonna be like, damn, I know you talk too fucking much.
Yeah, no, I like it.
No, I'm joking. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, while I'm saying this, I'm gonna tell you what to do before we get off the phone, but not right now. But no, I think my proudest moment was basically taking a stand in my life to actually. Because I had like maybe at the time I was training like about 13 fighters, and the only thing I can think is that God was smiling down on me because I got to a point where I trained Coffee Down Tour for 2 years. No one ever knew it. No one ever knew it because Diaz would get all the credit. He would be the one that he put all the time. He was going to camp with Miguel Cotto. And the show up on fight night or a week before the fight, and he's the head trainer. So I finally got to a point where I took a stand, and I said, "This ain't gonna happen no more." And basically, on that same night when I said that, I got a call from a guy I didn't even know. I got a call from Scott Hirsch saying, "Jeff, do you want to train Shannon Briggs?" I said, wow. I said, I'm thinking to myself, that's only one person. I'm training 13 people. But I'm not. But at the same time, I'm thinking, this is my one shot. This is my one shot. I can't mess it up because I'm leaving behind everything. I'm going to pack up, go to Florida, and train this man the best I can. Try to make him become champion of the world or whatever the case is. Whatever the journey is, I'm going to be a part of it for as long as I'm there. Because I sacrificed. I gave everything now because of this one opportunity. And so basically, me taking that chance, I think was the most proudest moment in my life. And the most, I would say, it's kind of like the process from growing up. It's almost like becoming a man. It's almost like leaving home, when you become a certain age and you finally say to your mom, I'm gone. Because you got your shit together, and you're going to be all right. And that's kind of like me. I'm taking a chance. And so, this guy, like I said, Scott Hirsch, I never heard of the dude. Never heard of him at all. And ironically, I got the job because of Benny Henderson, right at the Doghouse. Because he said he was talking to Scott Hirsch. And ironically, Scott Hirsch, he has a bunch of boxing videos and stuff. And he said at the same time, he was asking Benny Henderson, who do you think would be a good trainer for Shannon? And Benny Henderson said, well, Jeff Mayweather. And at the same time, Scott Hirsch said that he was watching a video of one of my fights. So it was destiny for it to happen that way, I guess. I mean, for everything to be aligned in that, I mean, it's scary, but it happened that way. And You know, like I said, I packed up, moved to Florida, and even with the situation of Shannon not working out, because what happened was this: I got to a point where, like I said, when you become a man, you leave home.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I've taken that first step by leaving coffee. I took that first step.
Mm-hmm.
So once I take that step, now I got belief in myself. And I know now that I can make it out here on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And why I'm saying that is this, because now Shannon Briggs had the biggest fight of his life. He ready to fight the Hogan for the title.
Mm-hmm.
But he's talking to me when we're training, telling me how great I am. But obviously, he didn't believe in me as much as he said he did. Because I get the training camp. There's me and 3 other trainers. We're playing musical trainers.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Scott Hurst, the same guy that called me, the same guy that's paying me.
Mm-hmm.
I went to him and told him, I said, I don't want to be a part of the circus. Can I go home?
Wow.
Because, I mean, to me, I like I said, it made me strong enough the first time to leave, to come to be there. I was strong enough now to leave, to go back where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have belief in myself now. And I had that experience.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is this. Ironically, the exact same person in which, you know, was getting all my credit was the exact same person who helped me to get the job with Sarkis and Brackenhoff.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel Diaz. I never had nothing against Miguel. Me and Miguel have always been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
We always had a wonderful relationship. It was just, to me, Coffee needs to be a man and tell Miguel. And that's what I told him. I said, look, I'm the one doing all the work. Tell him that I'm the head trainer. He never had the balls to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the initiative to myself to just drop him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, lo and behold, I got that call, took my chance, did one fight with Shannon. Shannon looked great, you know, knocked up the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, now he's in line for a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the camp for, like 3-4 weeks. And, like I said, I mean, it becomes a circus. I mean, you got all these different trainers. I mean, it's just stupidity to me. And so, I mean, I started getting to the point where I felt disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked to leave. And when I left, you know, my blessing was really waiting on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was the greatest feeling in the world to take the title from Shannon, with the guy that I was training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it was like I kind of had one of the Manny Stewart feelings.
Mm-hmm.
How you change, you know, how man used to change this guy and be with this guy and turn around and beat this guy with this guy, and this guy really was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's no, I mean, I had that kind of supreme feeling, you know, because I mean, here it is. I mean, Shannon didn't believe in me, but now all of a sudden he's got to face me.
Mm-hmm.
He got to face me, and you know, it's one of those situations where everything that happened came back full circle.
That's it.
You know, and I think that because of, and it's funny because in this whole situation, there's like a little, what they say, a tangle web we weave.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be honest, even though I was Shannon, Scott Hurst presented an opportunity for me that I couldn't pass down.
Mm-hmm.
But the opportunity that he presented with me with Shannon was not really the opportunity that would actually get my name out there and make people aware of the fact that my name isn't just Mayweather, but I actually can train.
Mm-hmm.
Was when they asked me to train Ray Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott said, Ray never had a trainer. Jeff, would you train him? You know, he said he's gonna give you $5. I'm like, yeah. You know, I mean, I didn't care so much about the money. You know, I mean, I didn't know nothing. I knew who Sarton was because Panama had him, and at the time he used to bring him down to top rank all the time. He used to bring him in Timor and Sarton, but I mean, he was a brute. He was a brute. You know, the guy could punch. So, but still, I already know how to beat a small fighter. If you're a tall fighter, and if you got 80 balls, you're gonna win. If you use my system, you're gonna win. And that's what I told. And that's what I told Ray. And Ray had opponents about him. Wasn't like Shannon. Didn't have no entourage. Didn't have people in the gym lying to him. Because in the gym period, you got Shannon's training. One day somebody said he's Ray Robinson. One day he's Joe Lewis. One day he's Muhammad Ali. When are you ever going to be Shannon Briggs? You know, when is somebody going to say, damn, Shannon, you look good? Rather than all these and why is the man telling him he look like this, he look like that, and he really ain't doing nothing. You know, I mean, but he's a guy that thrived off that. You know, he thrived off people stroking his ego. You know, and so, but that wasn't me. I wasn't that type because I'm the type like this. You must not realize I've seen for a street from the day he was born. I know about hard work. I know what it takes to become as good as him. And you're not even trying to be there. In no way, shape, or form. You know, and so, like I said, so in between, right before Shannon was going to fight for the title, I got the opportunity to train Ray Austin. Ray Austin is a 6-1 underdog against Sarton and Bagamoth. The fight ends up a draw. But realistically, Ray won that night. Ray put him down twice. And he count the second knockdown because it was at Hard Rock, which is owned by Warriors. And, you know, he was under Warriors boxing. And so, I mean, and so basically what ends up happening is the night with Ray Austin changed my life. Changed my life because the whole world, because that was at the time was the most watched fight on ESPN. And people got a chance to see that, wait a second, Jim Mayweather? Damn. He can train too. And so I trained so good that this is what happened. After the Ray Austin fight, of course, I mean, I'm getting calls now. But I'm getting calls from other heavyweights. I can't train other heavyweights. I'm training Shannon, so I can't get them. You know, I can't do nothing. But the second I leave that camp, because, like I said, all these different people here, and I mean, to me, I felt disrespected, so I left. You know, it became easy to leave a situation where, because to me, at the end of the day, I gotta feel like a man. I gotta feel like I can't play myself for nobody. I can't stay in this camp and kiss ass and play pussyfoot with these other trainers and I'm supposed to be the head guy. I can't do it. So I gotta leave. But like I said, what ends up happening is when I get back, no longer than a week after I'm back, you know, no longer than a week after I'm back, and this is what I'm saying when we talked about earlier, and I said releasing things to God. This was that I was at that point in my life. I'm like, whatever's gonna happen. I mean, this is too big for me. I can't do nothing about it. But here it is. I get a blessing from the same guy. You know, Miguel Diaz. He puts because now all of a sudden, because Ray Austin performed so great against Sarton and Panama, they're ready to get rid of Panama Lewis and Stacey McKinley. They're looking for a new trainer now. They called Miguel Diaz. Miguel Diaz said, look, Jeff Mayweather's here now. he's alone with Shannon. Give him a try.
Wow.
I went down there. It was like American Idol. You know, you have an audition. You know, and it's funny because, the amateur coach was the guy that was actually going to choose who actually trained Sarton. And so I already knew Sarton could punch, but he had no defense. He was a small guy. He wanted to trade punches with everybody. So my first day there, I'm kind of like, wow, I got to help this guy. You know, I got to help him with his defense. But I was messing up because he couldn't catch on. And so it made me look bad as a trainer. You know, because it's not really no progress. And so basically what ended up happening, I said, wait a second, to myself. I said, this guy is super fast. I said, I got to show what he has to offer with his speed. So I started working on various combinations that he never seen before. And I mean, this guy was blazing fast. I think he probably was one of the fastest heavyweights I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
You know, and then he southpaw. And so, but I took it a step further because I know the judge. I know who the judge is. I know the person that's gonna be the one that say yes or no. Okay, I was like there, supposed to have like a 3-day tryout. So what ended up happening is the first day, like I said, I'm messed up. So I'm lucky I get 3 days. You know, and then there's other known trainers that got way more credibility than me that's in the race for this job. Like, John David Jackson, the other guy, Bashir, and a couple other guys, but on the second day, I already had the job. First, this is what I did. After I had that bad day, the next day I came back and showed, how fast he is and things like that. And I forgot about the defense. I said, if I get the job, then I can tighten that up and, work on other things with him. Yeah. So what ended up happening is that the guy, like I said, was the amateur coach, and I went to him, because this guy, he's like Silent Bob. He don't say nothing. He has no emotions. So you have no idea what he's thinking. You don't know if he's saying, dude, this dude's garbage. I want to trade you something. I don't know. But my thing is this. I know if he's a trainer, that he's the guy who took Salt to the Olympics and Salt to win the silver medal with him. And I went to him. I went to his manager and told him to translate to me, translate for me, what is it that he wants to see? The coach, what is it that he wants to see? Because the part of him that he's giving the Salt that is taking him this far, I don't want to lose that. I want to still make that be a part of his arsenal. This guy who, like I said, was so stern, like Silent Bob, all of a sudden has a smile on his face. He's like a kid in a candy store. He jumps up and starts showing me combinations and this and that. I said to myself, wow, I think I got this job. So, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I think that was just the closer. I think that I really almost had a job just because of what I was already doing. But, I mean, I did appeal to that guy and showed him respect. And so basically, they told me, Jeff, we have a few more people that's still coming, but you already got the job.
Wow.
I went home and put 10 grand in my deposit, 10 grand in my account, and said, we'll be flying you back out here. We'll be flying you out here in a week. So pack up your stuff, and you're gonna be living in Florida.
Nice.
And so that's what ended up happening. I mean, it is so funny because the same night when Ray Austin at the weigh-in, when Ray was getting ready to fight Sultan, Tanner Marlowitz and Stacey McKinley both got up in my face and said, yeah, you ain't gonna be on TV at all because you're not even gonna get a chance to show your corner.
Wow.
So it's like, that, and I was just saying to him, I said, no, it's not gonna be like that. It's not like y'all think. I said, Ray has worked very hard because it was a situation where I had Ray and his son. That's it. Ain't nobody telling Ray he no damn King Kong, Ali, Frazier, or none of that stuff. Ain't nobody but him and his son. And so basically whatever I'm telling him, he's able to take in and digest it and hold on to it. But so I knew that Ray was ready for this fight. And then we had a strength trainer that helped also. And Ray's in the best condition he's ever been in his life. And so, Sultan gets on the scale. He got a pop belly. We go to root to this level. Even though I knew he could fight, I'm still and so like, and it's so funny because I tell Ray in the locker room, I said, Ray, this guy right here, we got to stick to the game plan. I said, this guy can punch. And so Ray said, man, yeah, that little dude, he's too small. I'm going to laugh. I said, don't do that. And he did. And got dropped on his ass. So he came back to the corner. When he came back to the corner, I didn't even mention him getting dropped or anything like that because I didn't want no negative vibe, no negative energy or anything. I said, Ray, now, you ready to listen? Let's do it my way. And so, next thing you know, all of a sudden, Ray's winning rounds. Round one. Another one in the bank. Another one in the bank. Before you know it, bam, shot down. So all of a sudden, now, wait a second. We made up that point from getting knocked down. Now we good. Then 2 rounds later, bam, shot down again. I said, oh yeah, we got it now. But, and so it's one of those situations where all of a sudden now, I'm on a big stage. This is, not Shannon. I'm on a big stage with Ray Austin on ESPN, one of the most viewed, ESPN shows ever. And I take a guy that's a 6-1 underdog, and he gets a draw. That's why Ray Austin was able to fight for a world title because of what he did with Tottenham Panama. So at that time, I arrived. I had arrived, and now I'm here to stay. Because basically I've proven myself, and I know in my own heart what I'm capable of now. And I'm not afraid. I'm no longer afraid to say, I'm not going to take that. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to kiss your ass. I'm not going to, what it is that basically I set boundaries for myself to limit the things that I'm willing to deal with, things that I'm not. So I don't care who you are, there are certain things that become a red flag to me. So I don't care who you are, I'm not going to deal with it. You know what I mean? Ever since that time, the situation where, of course, like I said, it was a great feeling to finally get Sultan. And it's funny because when I started training Sultan, he was a guy that was just, he's flat-footed, he's super fast and he can punch. So that was part of the arsenal. And I told him, I said, Sultan, I said, look, you're too small to just go head up with all these guys. I said, I got to teach you how to box. I said, give me 1 week. He said, okay. Okay, so the first day, I got him moving around, basically, jumping around like Muhammad Ali. He's like, oh, no, I don't like that. I feel like a rabbit. I don't like it. I said, that's okay. I said, this is only day one. I said, you said I got 5 days. I said, if I got 5 days, let me do what I got to do. Okay, and so then, what ends up happening is, day 2, now all of a sudden, I'm teaching him how to catch punches. I got him parrying. I got him, blocking with his elbows, things like that. Got him dropping under punches. So now all of a sudden, it's starting to feel a little better. And so then, and then on the 3rd day, we spar. And I say, do the things that we've been working on in the sparring. I guarantee you're gonna do this better. Now all of a sudden, I'm not getting hit. I said, how's it feel to be a rabbit now? I like it. And so basically, from that point on, and it's like, and then when we do one fight. I think I do a fight with before we fight for the title, we do Mora. I want to say Sergio Mora. I think it was Sergio. Yeah, and of course, Sergeant, knocked him out, had the quickest knockout in mass scorecard history as a heavyweight. And one thing about Sergeant was very humble. Tremendously hard worker. And devout Muslim. So he was a guy but he wasn't one of those BSers. One of the guys who say they're Muslim when they really ain't. But he was he was devout about his religion and stuff. And so basically, and like I was telling him, I said that I train Shannon. We can't fight Shannon the way you been fighting. So here's now a guy who basically didn't know how to move at all on his feet. Because that was like the other thing that, I got him moving now. And I'm, in the process of telling him how to move and things like that. And so now he's feeling comfortable with it. By the time we fight Shannon, he's feeling comfortable. He knows how to box. He knows how to get in. He knows how to get out. And so come fight time, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable about the fight. Because one thing I know about Shannon is this. First of all, I know how he trains. He likes to blame everything on Apple, but it ain't that. I know how he trains. And I know he got so many people up there telling him how great he is when he really ain't doing it. And so, with that being my own inside knowledge, just from being there, a part of his camp. So, I took it to my camp, and I kept that in mind. And so basically, I just told Sergeant, I said, we're gonna just outspeed him. I said, because that's all we gotta do. I said, all he's looking for is one big punch. And I said, not only that, I said, if you move on the ring, he's gonna get tired. Then all of a sudden, here comes the press conference. This is, before the fight, the press conference. Now all of a sudden, Shannon ain't never talked about his asthma. But now all of a sudden, he wants to be the poster child for asthma. So he's already putting a built-in excuse as to if I lose, it's because of my asthma. But what about those 40 guys you knocked out? You had asthma then too, right? And so he got mad at me, and he got really mad at me because I even took another guy that was a part of the team. I took him with me on something team coach, so he called us a bit of the colonel. He's like, we traded on him, but I didn't trade on him. I was more than happy, and I just wanted to do my job, but I didn't want my job to be taken away from me. And that's what he did. And so, when the fight was actually happening and taking place, and I just see it talking, just beating Shannon so easy, I was even pissing him off even more. Because psychologically, I was just trying to get head and take him out the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they would get close to my corner, I would be like, I would say, I mean, derogatory things. So Shannon could hear him, and he would look over there at me like he wanted to fight me. So I know his head wasn't in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I mean, we won, we basically won, probably at least 10 out of 12 rounds,
mm-hmm.
With a whitewash.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is now. So I got my first world champion. I mean, like I said, to be honest, I overall this car hurts. A guy I never knew from a campaign. A guy just called me out of the blue, and say, I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was truly a blessing. Like I said, I mean, I released it to God. And then of course after that situation, because that's shot-in laws, then I don't know where my next opportunity is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a call. I'm actually at Floyd and Shane fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting down in the audience. A guy walks up to me. Said, Jeff, you're the one.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is Miguel Police. Miguel Police, he walks past me and said, you're the one. You're going to train my brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't even know who he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Celestino Caballero. He said it in a way where I'm a boxing person. I'm supposed to know it. I'm supposed to know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know Celestino Caballero from Canada. I don't know this dude. and so, and then to really be sure that I'm going to take the job, he even go further. He said he's a super champ.
Mm.
What the hell is a super champ? I never heard of super champ. I mean, I never heard that stuff. So basically, he says, he says, that's the kind of I'm not going to take the job, but now you're going to take it if I say super champ. I mean, I'm excited that, I'm looking for an opportunity. I mean, I'm not begging for one, but I'm looking for one. I'm hoping that, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, still, I mean, he says, okay, well, we're going to be back in touch with you. I sit around for a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need nothing. So I just totally forgot about this.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a call from Celestino himself. And I mean, it's funny because I'm saying to myself, right after this guy said, Celestino Caballero, okay, I said, I don't know who this is. I better go look him up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go look him up, right? I'm not impressed at all.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this dude can't fight. No, I say that because at the time, I don't even understand how a guy can throw all these crazy punches and all the stupid stuff he looks like he's doing. Oh my God. This guy right here makes a fucking believer out of me.
Mm.
But I got a chance to see him in real person and in real life. That shit that he does is phenomenal.
Mm.
I mean, it's special. It ain't, it ain't type of stuff. It ain't regular. And that's what it was. Is that it was something I'd never seen before. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I'm watching it on the film, when I'm watching him fight, I'm like, this dude's garbage. Because he don't do nothing technical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of that stuff he did, nobody taught him to do that crap.
Mm.
It's so funny, right? And so, like I said, so finally they said, look, okay. They said, I finally beat Celestino. I talked to him on the phone first, and then I finally beat him. And we talked. He didn't speak English that good at the time. And but I mean, he was very nice, very humble guy. Mm. And boxing is kind of it's universal, in the teaching sense, because I mean, one time I trained a Japanese kid that didn't speak no English at all, but was probably one of the best technical fighters that I ever had, because he just, whatever I did, he did it. Mm-hmm. And so And that's kind of like what I was feeling in the beginning. You know, it was more like that. But, like I said, I mean, once again, I was just blessed. I mean, because here it is. I mean, Thornton is, he made up his mind. He's retired. I mean, now I don't have no more marquee fighters, not even a contender.
Mm.
And I released the God, and all of a sudden, a champion.
Mm.
Not just a regular champion, a super champion.
Yeah, he was right.
Falls into my life. I mean, falls into my life and into my hands. A guy who actually, what he was being my super champion is unified. A guy who has the WBA and IBF.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, how many trainers, how many people in their life have a world champion that don't even know you, don't even know you from a campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, God has blessed me. He has blessed me because I didn't never know who Cyrus was. I didn't know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, Miguel Khalid. I never seen this dude.
Yeah.
And this guy walks up to me out the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting down with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And points at me, you're the one. And here it is.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a chance to prove once again what I'm capable of.
That's right.
You know, and now I think that I've proven myself enough now where I no longer have to feel as though I'm in the shadow of my brothers or in the shadow of anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, I proved that I can make a person a champion. Because Celestino was champion when he got to me,
Mm-hmm.
but he moved on and then he lost that fight. Everybody thought that it was over. But he's champion of the world again. So I've created another champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I mean, it's a great feeling. I mean, I'm at a great place in my life. I feel good.
That's great.
You know, and I mean, and of course now, I mean, I've expanded my horizons. I mean, I turn around, you know, now all of a sudden, I'm starting to get MMA guys.
Mm-hmm.
I get King Mo. He's my first MMA guy that I actually get a chance to train.
Wow.
And he's fighting Roger Gracie.
Mm.
All you got to hear is the last name Gracie.
Yeah.
You know that's some damn body that can fight.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm kind of intimidated, even though I don't even know a damn thing about MMA.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny to me because I don't be knowing these people. And this MMA, I really ain't never watched no MMA enough. I don't even, like, King Mo, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, so, you know, who the hell is that?
Mm.
You know, and it's so funny because it happened that way for me. So the situation with King Mo, he came to me. You know, I got him through Percy Crawford, that, you know, Fight Hype.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You know, and so he turned him on to me because I think he worked with Floyd before. And see, because our personalities are so different.
Mm.
Floyd is like my way or the highway. My way is this. Let's have fun. Let's have fun doing what we're doing, but we're going to be working hard at the same time. We're going to be working hard, but we're going to be having so much fun while we're working hard. It's no longer work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference when people train with me. They know that it's not just going to be, you know, about me as the trainer. Because my whole thing is this. The first thing I do when I see a fighter, I find out what their weaknesses are. And then I try to bring that, you know, whatever's bad, I try to bring that up to the level of what's good and make them complete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not like just my way. You're just going to do what I tell you to do. It's not like that. I'm going to find out what you need. Then we're going to work on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, like I said, you know, the situation with Mo, he tells me, well, I'm fighting Roger Gracie. And, of course, I'm saying to myself, oh, shoot, I'm here. This is my first time working with an MMA guy. And him fighting damn Gracie. I said, my name going to be Mud. But at the same time, not really, because I wasn't in the corner. Even though I was doing the striking,
Mm-hmm.
But it's so ironic because this is what happened. I told Mo. He told me his name, and then I came home and watched it on YouTube. And I told Mo, I said, next day when we go training, I said, man, this guy, he's tall. He's real tall. He said, yeah, I know. I said, well then, I said, do you know how to throw overhand right? He said, no, I never thrown overhand right in my life. I said, well, you need to. I said, that's the only way we're going to get him. And lo and behold, he knocked him out.
Wow.
Exactly with the overhand right. I mean, that he never threw in his life.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you know, like I said, you guys are smarter than me.
Yeah, I was just gonna
say, and,
talking
you know, and that's one of the things that, I truly do. Like anyone else, I've been through rough times, and when I go through them, that's what I do. I just release it. You know, and through the blessing of, actually work with Mo, other fighters have came to me, you know. You got, now I'm training Big Country, you know, because of Mo, and I'm training, also, been training two of the younger guys that are on the show, Danny Costello and TJ Dillashaw. You know, and so now I'm getting into that, that realm of MMA as well. You know, I even potentially was going to train George St. Pierre.
Oh wow!
And it's so funny, right? You know, it's like it was like, you know how gospel spreads, right? You know, when a person says something and everyone gets wind of it, it becomes instant news. Like Floyd saying that stuff about Jeremy Lin. It's like that. Okay, people heard about the potential of me training George St. Pierre. Once again, same scenario. Never heard of this dude. I don't know a damn thing about him.
Wow.
So, the thing is this. It's funny to me because they don't call him George St. Pierre. They call him GSP. Everyone calls him GSP. I'm like, who the hell is GPS? I don't know this dude. You know? And everybody's making such a big deal about him.
Yeah.
And I don't know him. And so, to me, until I know who he is, he ain't nobody to me. And so, basically, nothing ever came of that, but it was just the fact that just the wind of people hearing that potentially me training him, was blowing my phone up. I was in text messages from everybody. GSP. I'm like, who the hell is GSP? And then I really just started hitting me like, damn, this must be somebody because everybody's talking about him.
Yeah.
And so, but nothing really ever happened with that. Then I continuously talked to, I talked to Rashad Evans, even before the fight what he just had with John Jones.
Yeah, John Jones.
I was actually supposed to trade him for that, but I guess he ended up changing his mind. But still, I just know that there's going to be more opportunity in the MMA world as well. Yeah. Because right now, of course, I gotta once again, hopefully have Big Country put off a good win. And asking my name to ring again. And so and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just I feel truly blessed to be doing what I'm doing and doing something that I love, and actually and get a chance to work with some of the bigger name athletes that involved in their sports.
Yeah. What do you think of MMA? You enjoyed doing it?
Well, basically, I'm just a striking coach. So, it was one of those things that I never watched MMA before.
Yeah, me neither.
So you know, it's one of those things that now I'm educating myself on it. You know, I'm like a student at it now. And I still would never know when a guy gets put in this kind of hole or that kind of hole. I wouldn't know the names and stuff. Only thing I know is that they look gay down there.
That's right. I always think it too. You're too close to crotches. I don't want to be there.
It's like, I can't do this for it.
Yeah.
That's the same guy. But at the same time, I mean, I can appreciate the art form of it now, you know, because of course I know what it is, you know, in terms of, you know, the fact that these are the guys that they're grappling, you know. So I mean, it's one of those situations that now I kind of understand it. And of course I appreciate the striking because, you know, that's my work now. When I get a chance to see it, and get a chance to see it, even if another fighter's doing it, I know that, you know, potentially if that guy is good, and if I continue to be successful at what I'm doing, you know, bigger names are gonna seek after my, you know, after my service. You know, so I mean, right now, like I said, in my life, I'm in a you know, a pretty good place in my life.
That's
you know, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. Glad, man. Your day's coming. Peace.
Yeah.
It's already here, I guess. You're in 2 sports now. That's impressive. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's nice when I work with the MMA guys because they're, unlike boxers, they don't have a preconceived notion of knowing anything. So they're kind of like putty.
Yeah.
And you can kind of like hold them into, you know, exactly what it is you really want them to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's, you know, it's a pleasure working with them.
Yeah. And I'm curious, after the Shannon Briggs-Sultan Ibragimov fight, did Shannon say anything to you after the fight? Or did you make any kind of amends?
Well, no, we made amends, but it was kind of funny because after the fight, he was so mad at me. I think that if they didn't grab him, he probably would have came over there and knocked me out.
Wow.
Because I was talking so much smack. Because I kept saying, that's karma. You know, I just kept saying, that's karma. You know, I said, you thought that, you know, that you didn't need me, but obviously you did. And, you know, so I guess he took offense to that, and he was almost like about to run over and hit me, but I was like saying to myself, please do, because I want some of that check. But, you know, so I mean, we just beat for a long time. And then one day he showed up in Vegas, and he came at me as though he was upset. And don't get me wrong, Shannon's a great guy. I mean, I really, really, truly like Shannon as a person. I just didn't like how the situation played out when, you know, when it was time for him to fight for the title because he didn't believe in me enough to let me be the lead guy or the guy that was in control. So that was the only thing about me and Shannon that. But I mean, as far as him as a person, great guy. Great guy to hang out with, talk. I mean, the dude got so many stories that he can sit and talk to you all night about this story, things that are happening in his life. And I mean, it's interesting because you be sitting on the edge of the tree like, what? You know, I mean, great guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it was kind of like, when he see me, he walked up on me like he was upset. You know, like he was going to do something to me. So then, like he said, he had a, you know, a funny, like a mean look on his face. And then he said, what up, Jeff? So then he congratulated me. You know, he was like, man, you know, he said, man, I'm glad that, you know, things worked out well for you, you know, and keep up the good work. You know, and then even after that, since that time, he's called me, you know, not necessarily about training or anything like that, but he did call me on, you know, like on advice on like how he should fight. You know, even like when he was going to fight Vladimir.
Yeah.
Well, not Vladimir.
Vitaly.
Vitaly. When he was going to fight Vitaly, I mean, he called me and talked to me about strategy and what technique and how I thought that he would go about doing, how how he should go about doing the fight. You know, so I mean that was kind of satisfying because, you know, I never really had bad blood. It was just I felt disrespected. You know, but the friendship part always will be there. And I think that, you know, I mean, Shannon's a great guy in terms of him as a man and his personality. But business-wise, I wouldn't want to do business with him. You know, but at the same time, when I say that, I thank him and I thank Scott Hirsch for taking me out of obscurity and put me to the forefront, you know, where people will finally say that, wow, that's Mayweather? What the hell is he? Which one is he?
Quite
you know, and I mean, but the most important thing was to be able to deliver, you know, to be able to deliver, you know, on my own without the light being shined, you know, on everyone, but just on me because of my own achievements. You know, and I just have, you know, kind of like, yeah, well, he just wanted to make me, so he just throw his name in there. But no, I mean, I made 2 world champions, but not only that, I've been a part of a lot of different world champions that when I was traded in obscurity and didn't get no credit. Like Calvin Concrete Davis, I was a part of that. You know, and there's various champions that I've trained. I mean, at the end of the day, I've trained maybe 6, 7 world champions. You know, but of course, like I said, at the time when I'm trying to find my space, trying to make a name for myself, I'm doing whatever I need to do to just be in that position. And so when you're doing that, when you're going through that phase, you know, you don't ever get no credit, you never get no exposure. You're just kind of there. And the only people that know you're doing it are the people in the gym. You know, so basically, you know, and like I said, that's the one thing that I think that I'm most proud of is the fact that I stood up and I made a decision. And I was basically like, and like, I even wrote an article about it, because basically it's like, to me, like that song by Eminem, you only get one shot. And like I said, when I got that one shot, I totally threw myself into that situation and gave it everything I had. And because I did, you know, I achieved success on the highest level. I mean, I made a heavyweight champion of the world. You know, and I mean, there ain't a lot of people that can say that.
That's true.
You know, so I mean, you know, I was very, very proud to be a part of that. You know, and of course, I mean, I took a guy that, you know, was willing to listen to me and basically changed him. And it changed him for the better, made him a complete fighter.
Now, what do you think that life might change for you in the boxing world if Caballero beats Mikey Garcia? Like, don't you feel how much is on the line for this fight? It's going to be a pretty big fight.
I mean, I think that, I mean, in all honesty, I think that's a fight that Celestino can win and win fairly easy. Because he's just one-dimensional and strong. Strong ain't enough. You know, that's not enough to beat Celestino. Not a Celestino that fought Jonathan Barrows or fought the Japanese guy the way I've been trying to get him to fight since, because I mean, ever since I got him, I've been trying to get him to fight like a tall fighter should. Just like I did with Louis Austin. Because, like I said, if you're tall, especially if you can fight a little bit, I'm going to bring the best out of it. Because no short guy should be able to catch you if you just, all you got to do is jab, take one step back, try to reach. But you got to be consistent in it, and you got to believe in it. You know, and I got ready to do that. And because of that, the opportunity came because the opportunity of working with Sarkin came directly from Ray. It was kind of like, this guy right here needs us.
Yeah.
We need him on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out for everyone.
Yeah, that's great. I wish you a lot of luck in that fight. What you got something? You started Jeff Mayweather's Pro Boxing Insider on the internet. What was that about, and what was the goal for that?
Well, basically, what happened was a friend of mine. He comes to the gym quite often. And he's kind of like he's a journalist, whatever, and he kind of just asked me that he came to me and asked me about some money to start a website. And of course, he used my name because in the boxing world, of course, the name Mayweather means something.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, fine. I said I want to return on my money at some point in time. I'm not sweating them over it, but I don't want to just put my money out there and you do what you do and that's it. Mm-hmm. I never see your money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course, I know a lot of people in boxing, and so we came up with different concepts and different ideas that makes it fun for the site. And basically where we have like ask the fighter. We got like about maybe 12 different fighters now. We got Harold Letterman on there. A couple of different personalities from the realm of boxing that will actually answer the questions if you ask them. Some of the fighters are up and coming. Some of the fighters are past their prime, and we're looking to actually try to add a few old veterans like a Bone Crusher or Pinklon Thomas or something like that. The older guys who careers are over, but probably still want to talk boxing to somebody. You know what I mean? And people that didn't forget about them, or like they were like one-hit wonders, or just forgetting. It's all of a sudden forgotten because they're no longer a part of boxing.
Mm.
So I'm trying to keep them in tune. I got some young fighters. I got to try to get fighters that are actually abroad. So that brings it. Makes the site even bigger because I have Billy Gibbs, who's from, I think he's from England, right?
What's his name?
Billy Gibbs.
Yeah, I think he is from England. I don't think it's Ireland, but I think it's England. Might be Ireland. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's on my site, and then we also have this new thing that we just started, which is very, very funny. And this is what I was going to tell you about. When you get a chance, go online and put in my name and put on YouTube 10 random questions. The first one I'm doing with DeAndre Lattimore. And it's hilarious. I think this is the best concept that we came up with. And I hope nobody steals it from us because we've already put it out there. It is very, very funny. And it's one of those things that it's going to also show people a different side of me because, to be honest, I'm a very, very funny person.
Yes, you are.
But you would never know it. You would never know it unless you're around me.
Yeah.
Or you're a part of my circle. You would never know it. But once you do, it's kind of like, people kind of like, you be like, man, I didn't know you was like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But, this, when you see this, believe me, you're going to laugh.
Okay.
Because I was laughing like crazy, and I've had, I don't know how many hits since I did it. It's like, because I think a lot of people are like shocked at what I said.
I want to hear it.
I want you to see it, and you can even call me back and tell me what you think.
Put a link to it. I'm gonna put a link to it. I'm gonna put a link to it so everyone else could click on it and see it too.
Okay, because now the first one is with DeAndre, and I did another one today, and that was with Steve Forbes. The one with DeAndre is the best one, and that was our very first one.
Okay, I'll look for it. I'll look for it. What let's see. I got a couple more questions on there. What do you think of the Bernard Hopkins Chad Dawson 2 fight coming up?
Well, I mean, it's a fight that I don't know. I think Chad Dawson should actually win, but I think that the first fight, Chad Dawson was so far out of character because he let Bernard get under his skin that he just wanted to hurt Bernard in any way possible. And it had nothing to do with boxing. You know, and so I think that if he comes in there focused and just put in the work to actually beat Bernard Hopkins, I think that he should win.
Yeah.
You know, but if he let Bernard get under his skin again, I mean, maybe the same thing happened. You know, something weird, something freaky, you know, because, I mean, that's all it was. That's what happened. It wasn't nothing to do with boxing. I mean, because I never seen, you know, Chad so far out of character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a quiet and humble guy, but all of a sudden now he's talking trash.
Yeah.
You know, he was a guy that he do all the talking in the ring, but all of a sudden, you old man this, and I'm going to do this and that. So, that ain't even you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're thinking the same thing I was. Seems out of character.
Yeah, way out of character.
That's what Bernard does to you. You know? Master.
Yeah.
He's a master.
Yeah, if you get caught up in it, yeah, you sure will.
Yeah. And what do you think of the Pacquiao-Bradley fight? What kind of chance Bradley got to spoil this whole apple card?
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations where Bradley doesn't have enough power to win because he's not going to knock Pacquiao out. And to be honest, that's almost like his only way of winning. Unfortunately. You know, that's just how the game is. And I think that as long as the potential of Floyd Pacquiao is out there, it's going to be played out that way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad. It's sad that it's that way, but I just think that it's just that way. I mean, if you don't, I mean, just like I said, prior to the Marquez fight, exactly what I said. I even told Dwight, I said, write this article today. I said, because tomorrow I'm going to look like a prophet. That's exactly what I told him. I said, because, especially when I see he had that dude that had better stuff, you know, because he in the Olympics, so he really know how to shoot. You know, and like I said, I mean, if this man drink piss, he drink anything. You know, and so basically, you know, I figured that, you know, even if Pacquiao is on something, he got something better. And so I just figured that he's going to win. And he actually did, but he just didn't get the decision. He didn't get the decision because he didn't make business sense. Who cares about Marcus fighting for again? It means nothing. But you got one guy out there the whole world want to see. And that's Manny Pacquiao against Floyd. And that still hasn't changed. So that doesn't make the road no easier for Tim Bradley. You know, and like I said, with Tim Bradley not having no punching power, chances are the fight going to a decision.
Yep. And what do you predict for the Mayweather-Cotto fight? Think Floyd could stop him?
I think if he stops him, I think he stops him maybe around about the 9th or 10th. I can see that happening. You know, I actually can't see that happening because, like I said, the one thing is this: Cotto has one chance. And that one chance that he has, he'll be trying to do something that he's never done. And you can't just all of a sudden do something that you've never done and you've been boxing all your life. You can't all of a sudden now become something that you're not. So, with that being said, I just think that, you know, it's going to be one of those fights where, you know, I think Floyd, and to be honest, I think Floyd is physically stronger than Cotto. People don't realize that. Just like when he was fighting Shane, I told everyone, I said, Floyd way stronger than Shane. Shane can lift weights, but he's not physically strong like Floyd. Just Floyd showed that. You know, and that's because Floyd's body is so hard because he's been doing this his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't realize that. You know, and not only that, I mean, you know, and it's kind of like watching Floyd, like even today, it's kind of like watching, especially when you see him when he was practically a baby.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching a Sammy Davis,
Yep.
Michael Jackson, you know, even Justin Bieber, or something like that. That you know that's going to one day, you know, be huge.
Yeah.
You know, really, really huge. You know, and that was something that, you know, the thing that Floyd is doing right now in the ring, at 5 and 6 years old, he was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it becomes second nature to him. It's one of those things that people always say you can't be taught instincts.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not one of those things where if you never boxed and your dad had you doing these things repetitious over and over and over and over and over and over, they don't become instinct. They're just good habits.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're doing so well, people automatically assume those are instincts.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. They're just taught to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those situations, and that's it. That, I mean, Floyd, you know, was just, and so like I said, I mean, I just don't, I mean, to be honest, that's Colo's only chance. That's his only chance. I mean, of course, one punch can change anything, so I can't say that. I mean, you know, Colo is a decent puncher, you know, but I mean, Floyd's, you know, much better defensive fighter, so chances are he's not going to hit Floyd as much as Floyd's going to hit him.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd's a lot faster than him, a lot faster on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, at some point in time, Colo's going to have to be Colo. He's going to go back to being, you know, counterpuncher because that's how he fights.
Yeah.
But the only difference is this, is that he's going to be in the ring with the best counterpuncher in the world.
That's it. Yeah. And there's some debate going on right now in the boxing world. Does Floyd have the greatest defense ever? Would you say he does?
Well, I would say him and Whitaker rank about the same.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm talking about with my own eyes. I don't know a damn thing about Whitaker.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, at the end of the day, Whitaker got beat so many damn times. How great could his damn defense be?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I look at stuff. Just like when I said Sugar Robinson had to lose 5 times to become 6-time middleweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I look at the whole picture. I don't look at. Don't show me one fight of a guy showing great defense to say, oh, he's one of the greatest defensive fighters ever.
Yeah.
If you have 15 losses, how great could his defense be?
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
You said it.
No, but I mean, Pernell had amazing defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he had amazing defense. I mean, one of those guys that, you know, it's like you can throw a bag of rice at him and you damn near still won't hit him.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you know, and Ford's the same way. I mean, he's right in your face, but you can't hit him.
That's it.
You know, so I mean, in my own fair assessment, I think that they're the 2 best ever that I've seen ever.
Wow. That's high praise. Yeah, I appreciate it. I could appreciate that.